Tea time for Type 40. What's going on? It's a surprise weekend edition of the live stream Doctor Who magazine show on Rumble, X, YouTube, and on Facebook. We air our opinions with fellow fans and friends and companions just like you on all things Doctor Who for Doctor Who Day 2. Yes, it's rolled around again. Another one clocked up. And of course, we'll be looking right the way back through the legacy of the show, nodding to our legends and the integral people responsible for bringing the show to us in the first place. There's lots to take stock of from out there too, from all of the feeds, everything that's happening. We're bringing that along. We'll be catching up with her. Of course we will. And you know what? And we've laid on a spread and a half here. So come and join in. Get stuck in the comments. And yeah. And where better than to dive right in than in the memory TARDIS itself. Haven't been in here for a while. There's a lot of clutter sort of kicking around on the floor, but no stray wires. Get the cable ties together, and yeah, I'm sure we can make some room for everybody that's going to join us on this edition of the show. Welcome back to your Type 40 Live. How are you? How's your day been? We'll find out in a moment. I don't doubt we'll compare notes on what we've been doing, how we've been marking the big day. Okay. Got some comments already. Thank you, everybody. Can't wait to get stuck in. So yeah, Doctor Who Day again. It's rolled back around. Another year on the clock for the doc. However long you've been a fan or a viewer, a Whovian or a Whonatic, you can mind dump and mind probe as much as you like with us while we go through it all here. And I've got some people to bring on from the regular panels, and we'll give you our raw reactions to the revelations of the day as well. Of course we will. Okay, let's go back, I think, to where it all started, and that magical cast of 4 and an unmistakable set at Lime Grove Studios. Perfect place for any legend to start. I can't promise that this live stream is going to measure up to that, but between us, we'll do our best. And when I say we, I mean myself and my mate, Gary Akers.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Doctor Who Day. It is tea time, Dan. Actually, coincidentally, I have my tea here. I wish I had some Jammy Dodgers, but unfortunately just the tea.
I could send you some, but they probably wouldn't get there until the new year.
Yeah, you'd have to send it supersonic. No, this is it's fun streaming on a Sunday with you.
Makes a change, doesn't it? We're both in hats this time. I've got one of my winter warmers on.
Yes. Oh, is the Ice Age finished over there, or is it still going?
Well, is it finished? Not quite.
No. Oh no! Wow, really?
Not quite.
Okay.
It could be worse. It could be worse. I keep telling myself. But I saw a brass monkey outside. He was bawling his eyes out. But other than that, we're muddling through as best we can. Because obviously with the cost of living going right up, everybody's heating has gone right the way down. And so we're all in multiple layers. I just like a woolly hat anyway myself, Gary. I was wearing these before the weather went cold.
Well, yeah, just don't get to the point where you're burning your physical media to stay warm.
No.
Don't get to that point.
Let's not go to extremes. No, I know what I
and welcome to the chat too. So glad that you're with us on this extra day.
Yeah, it's good to see people sort of rolling in, isn't it? And comparing notes already. I suspect quite a few of them have gone right the way back to the very beginning for An Unearthly Child. I know it's a cliche, Gary, but most Doctor Who days I do end up rewatching this, even if it's just this 25 minutes.
It's astonishing that something that they did put together with care and love and intelligence, the actors and David Whittaker and Verity Lambert. How could they possibly conceive that 6 decades later, people would still be watching what they did?
Never mind talking about it all for hours on end. Remaking it, remastering it, re-releasing it over and over again. Yeah, it just goes to show, doesn't it, that I think it was the infancy of television. I think that now that the book is nearly closing on analog television, certainly, and maybe even the television age, this wasn't that far from the beginning of the popularization of TV, certainly in Britain. And Doctor Who is going to stand tall when the book is closed on this, on all of this. Doctor Who will, the pages marked Doctor Who, they're going to stand out.
I mean, even concurrent shows back in the day. I mean, you had the very early days of the Avengers, which had already been going a couple seasons by this point. But even that was like almost felt like a filmed stage play. You know, I mean, it was like very contained, you know, within coming in, going out rooms and stuff. It didn't have anywhere near the look that even it would have by the mid 60s and stuff. And yeah, Doctor Who was really on the forefront of the development of all the television tricks that would start to come in.
We're fortunate that we have so many relics left to pour over, to scan in and to share, aren't we? Because we do a lot of talking, lamenting about that which is lost of Doctor Who history. I'm sure we'll touch on that later on again. But we do have so much, a wealth of information, which, to be fair, other shows like The Avengers, which I'm rewatching again right now, simply hasn't got that.
Yeah, it's do you find it hard, like when you said, for example, like on Dr. Day, you put this story in, that you're able to just watch it just as an individual story, or are you bringing like subconsciously the weight of everything that would follow it when you're sitting there focusing on this individual story?
That's a really good question. There's something ritualistic about slamming the DVD back in of An Unearthly Child, but that fades away as soon as the titles fade up from black, and I can't put my finger on as to why. That could be particular to me, but how I respond is that I'm captivated absolutely instantly. And to be honest, that does happen with the majority of Doctor Who for me. Even classic Doctor Who, even the stuff that I grew up with, I can still sort of view it in isolation. Strange.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a Anglophile. I love watching British shows, whether from the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. And I can't think of any other British show in the 60s, the title sequence, that was just as mesmerizing as Doctor Who's. I mean, none of them even came close. It was either just block titles and some music and then get on with it. But I don't think anything even approached what they did here.
There were other trippy shows, and there were other shows that were imaginative, and there were other shows which had a kind of hypnotic quality, but most of them fall into that sort of kitsch bracket, I think. And that's not meaning to do them a disservice, do them down in any way, but it does set them apart. It does make them lesser than Doctor Who. Having said that, it does, because they're very much anchored, pinned in that particular time. Never mind the decade, sometimes down to a precise year. But the timelessness of matching that theme music with those graphics, I don't know. It is as if something from somewhere else intervened. That's how it appears when you look back at it and you watch the thing. The truth of the matter is, it's so well documented. We know that in many ways it was lightning striking, and just the right people at the right time with the right show, and everybody tuning into more or less the same wavelength. We were very fortunate.
Well, I mean, and you've had, I mean, as you said, there have been a lot of wonderful books documenting the lead up to the production. You've had some of the authors on Type 40, interviewed them. And I mean, it's a mesmerizing story about how it started out as this proto idea of, something educational for children with a little bit of, sci-fi or fantasy in it, and how the characters developed, ideas that were dropped, picked up. Should they be specific about the Doctor's background? Should they not? And that I always find, I've read a lot of accounts in these books about the story, and it's always just so fascinating to see this idea just kind of like, take form. It's wonderful.
It is. It's sort of magical in its own way, particular to television, not derived from books or from films or anything else. I think that's another reason why I think Doctor Who is so special. My own upbringing watching Doctor Who was slightly different but the same. You know, the sofas and the TVs were a little larger than when Doctor Who started in the late 70s and into the 80s. And television, there was more of it, I suppose. There was a couple of more channels, not a huge amount, and there was colour, and there were repeats, far more repeats. But for me, when I think about this time of year and Doctor Who Day, the anniversary itself, the thing I suppose that has that legendary quality for me that it's hard to get out of the shadow of is probably the Five Doctors, because it meant so much to me as a child. It was the first story, even though I was 9 years old, that I purposefully recorded on VHS to keep. There was never any question that I was ever going to record over this transmission of the Five Doctors. I always knew, so I'd got a brand new videotape set aside, and it was going. I honestly think that's where my obsession started, and what's led me to this, to where we are both today, Gary.
Yeah, I just think, the very existence of something like the Five Doctors is a testament to the power of the concept itself. The fact that it would be 20 years, you'd have the five actors there playing it. And as you said, massive publicity, even over here, because over here, I don't even think that the Davison episodes had aired yet, but a lot of the public broadcasting stations over here were showing the Five Doctors like as a special, for pledge drives, things like that. But that was actually the first exposure, I think, that a lot of people in this country got to Davison's Doctor. And it's still, I know that you still sit down and watch it. I know you prefer the original version, but I mean, the fact that we have what like 3 or 4 versions it was a seminal moment in the history of the show.
The thing that I struggle with the most when it comes to the Five Doctors, if anything at all, is the realization that the Five Doctors itself was so long ago, and so much has come along since, and so many new people joining the fandom as well.
Wow, this is I won't be able to say anything because I'm focused on this. It's mesmerizing, and it's unfortunate. I mean, we want to focus on the positive, but it is unfortunate that considering that it goes to show how quickly things can shift, for all of the, publicity and the justifiably well-received reaction to the Five Doctors when it was aired in 1983. Just 2 years later, the fortunes had shifted, and it was off temporarily.
To me, Gary, as a child, the idea that a TV show could have been running for 20 years seemed ridiculous to me. 20 years seemed like a huge length of time. And of course, now the truth of the matter is that Doctor Who, as an intellectual property, was barely even warming up, really. It's been 42 years since that night. Well, in a couple of days' time, because we didn't get it until 2 days after you lot.
And well, I'm sorry about that. Don't hate us for that. And around 1983, I mean, that was right around the time when the Target books really started getting a lot of wider release here in the US, beyond just like say specialty comic book stores, which is where I first discovered Target books. They started to be in regular chain bookstores over here, with putting all the numbering, the incorrect numbering on the spine by alphabetization rather than the order of the stories. And that was right around that time. I actually think I might have read the book before I saw the story.
I bought the book before it was on TV, but I didn't read it. I was very strict with myself. It just appeared on the shelf of the local newsagent in my high street, in the arse end of nowhere, the town where I live, nothing remarkable ever turned up there until I saw that sort of silver cover with the diamond illustration in the middle. I couldn't quite believe my eyes. I haven't been able to believe my eyes practically for the entire time I've been watching this show for one reason or another. Sometimes I've had my hands over my eyes, but I think that the rise and fall, the cut and thrust, the duck and dive, and the good days and the bad days of being a Doctor Who fan, I think that's all. I think all comes with the territory.
And I just want to comment. I'm going to probably go back later on today and rewatch several times the video that you were just showing. I can't think of a single other show that has just the breadth, just from what you just showed there, the breadth of this show. I mean, not the Star Trek franchises, which basically stick to core characters, sets of characters throughout the individual shows. But I mean, just looking at that panoply of images that you just showed, I mean, they're just so evocative. You go, oh yeah. And it just shows you it's hard to describe sometimes. It's just there's no end to the imagination of this show. And you said, like you said, good times and bad times, but going through, times when it's on and we're loving it, and then times when it's off, but it always comes back. But just watching a little short reel like you just showed, just gets your excitement surging, and why we love this show so much.
So excited, in fact, it's hard to know how to top it. I can think of only one way, and that's to bring on her.
Hello, everybody.
Yay! Happy Doctor Who Day, Charlotte.
Happy Doctor Who Day.
How's your tea? Good?
It was actually. It was some nice, spicy chicken and chips, so it was a nice tea.
Very nice. Hearty food. You didn't have a birthday cake then for the Doctor? You didn't go mad?
No, if I tried to say that to my family, they'd probably think I was going crazy more than usual, to be honest.
Yes, happy Doctor Who Day. And yet another one rolls around, Charlotte.
I know it seemed, I think we said this on the last show, it's like November creeps up on you with Doctor Who, that it is the anniversary, I feel like.
Yeah, Doctor Who Day yet again, everybody. And all those faces, from the some of them from the distant past, others are from the recent past. But they all feed in, don't they, to our memories, whether it's from childhood, second childhood, or indeed third. Speaking of third childhoods, actually, I think that despite his relative youth, I'd imagine that Luke Walters must be on at least his fifth or sixth by now.
Wait, what, drink?
Childhoods.
Oh, right. I was going to say, I'm on my first. So, hello, everyone.
What are you drinking for the Doctor's birthday then, pal?
Thatcher's Juicy Apple. Yes.
Just Juicy Apple. That sounds so wrong. But I'm a child of the 80s, so when somebody says Thatcher to me, I think of something completely different.
God, yeah. Well, I thought, Thatcher seemed very apt for Doctor Who in the 80s, so why not?
Oh, and it sounds very British, which is very apt, isn't it?
Even better. Yeah. Cheers, everybody. Cheers.
Yeah.
I'm just very happy on this Doctor Who Day that Charlotte took a break from her 24/7 viewing of the new Wicked movie, which I'm sure is up to 5 or 6 times now, to join us here.
Afterwards, that you lot thought I was watching something else. I literally got messages saying, Charlotte, I think the lads have got the wrong idea what Wicked is.
No, not me.
Would I?
Yeah, I heard a certain, I can't point, there we go, a certain somebody was being a bit cheeky. That's what I got told after the fact.
There is, unfortunately for me, there is video evidence of this, which quite a lot of people have watched. So I can just say it was must have been an aberration on my part because I was so excited to see Charlotte about Doctor Who Day. I mean, the thing is, when it comes to Doctor Who Day, the annoying thing about it is we've still got to share it with other enthusiasts of other things. Luke, I mean, would you believe that it's only World Watercolor Day as well today? I mean, who are these people? What's going on? Yeah, apparently so. Check this out. Look at these saucy sods. World Watercolor Day. It's also Espresso Day. Do you enjoy an espresso, Gary?
I've never had an espresso. I'm a tea person.
Really?
I think that would be too much of a. I think I'd be bouncing off the walls if I had espresso.
Yeah, I'm not.
Get that framed. An American being a tea person. What is? We've gone into a very different world right now.
That's what I'm having today. Look, I'm having my tea right now. I have tea like 3 or 4 times a day.
Wow.
Big Anglophile and a massive fan of Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
That's right.
I was going to say, I don't like tea, and I'm British, so I don't have an excuse.
I'm the same. I don't like tea. I'm a coffee guy.
I didn't think you'd be allowed to stay in the country if you didn't like tea.
Oh dear! It's Espresso Day for all you coffee fiends. Fibonacci Day as well. Don't even know what that's about. I can't even claim. There'll be people in the live chat going, "Oh, Dan, you're so thick."
I think it's a number. It's like a special number, like a mathematical thing. I think
mathematical equation. A whole day for that. I don't know. And it's also Stir Up Sunday. That sounds absolutely filthy, but it's clearly something to do with Christmas puddings. So we're on safe ground there too. So if you're celebrating any or all of these, as well as Doctor Who Day, you must have had quite a 23rd of November so far. We're going to do our best to perk it up even more than 1 million espressos if we possibly can between us, between now and then. Okay, yeah, Doctor Who Day 2025 is definitely go. We've got some fun stories to take in, I am happy to say. Some that stretch right the way back and some not so much. But before we do that, let's go and see how you are there in the live chat on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and X. Happy Doctor Who Day.
Welcome to Type 40.
Yo, everybody. We've got people there in the live chat waiting very, very patiently while we've been having a chat. Good to see you all. Happy Doctor Who Day. Let's see who's turned up. Bill Silva is there on YouTube. 62 years. You or the show or both, Bill. Good to have you. Good to have you back. John J. Duncan Shaw is also here. How old is Doctor Who? Is the Doctor Who series now? Is it 69? No, you're aging it. You're aging it up. You're aging it
Not
up.
quite there yet.
Funky's asking about my blank VHS tape back in 1983. Must have cost a pretty penny. They were. So I used to get a single 3-hour videotape at Christmas or birthday present, Luke. And it's considered to be a big present because those things used to rock in at about £5 or £6, which my pocket money was 50p back then, 50p a week. So it was quite a sum.
Fair enough.
Now you can't. Actually, no, they've probably gone back to being worth more because nobody's got any of them. Stephen O'Neill has joined us from rainy Wigan again. Even on a sunny day, it's always rainy in Wigan. I think Stephen probably does a lot of singing. That could be what it is.
Yeah, it's the same here. Manchester's absolutely chucking it down. Absolutely chucking it down.
We mentioned it earlier on, Luke, how a lot of people take the time on the 23rd of November to go right back to the beginning and watch An Unearthly Child. Stephen O'Neill is certainly one of them. Is that something you do, or is it a bit of a cliche?
No, I like to. I haven't had the chance today. I've been busy, been here, there, and everywhere. So literally only now I'm getting back to the flat. So I went to Warp yesterday with Mr. Gareth Kavanagh.
Oh yeah, how is he?
Ian Winterton and Robert Shearman, and who else? Susan Twist was there for some reason. I don't know why.
Why not?
She's what a mad, lovely woman. Paul Marks was there as well. Some other lot from Big Finish. It was really, really nice day. Really nice day. Right. Got accosted for being. I think some of them might be in the chat somewhere because I know they were going to watch because they said to me yesterday they're going to watch Type 40 tomorrow. So.
Of course you are. Hello, Ian and Gareth. Yeah, they're good guys. We've had them they've been on the show. We've grabbed them at live events as well several times. They're good guys, good sorts. Never met Susan Twist though. So if she's a bit of a live wire,
Oh, she's mad as a box of cats, bless her. She's so lovely, though. She's so lovely. But it was a good day. It was good. Everyone kept coming up and asking us about hooligans, which was a bit mad.
That's nice, though. That's what you
Luke,
want.
did anybody come up to you and ask you about us at all?
Well, yeah, as I said, one of them did. One of them, a couple of them do watch Type 40, and they were saying they're going to tune in today to watch it. So
very good.
Hope you're well tuned. Rose Kirby has also tuned in, and she says, "Hey folks, happy Doctor Who Day. Just finished watching An Unearthly Child. Hello, chat, wherever you are in the universe." Yeah, it's. I think even if people don't watch the whole story, they might start with that and then watch something else as a sort of as an appetizer for watching something else. Farsight is also here with us, and so is Garbage. Adrian James is here too. Evening, everybody. Happy Doctor Who Day. Happy Doctor. Oh, everybody's happy. Everybody's so happy. Big T's in too. Greetings and salutations, one and all, from Tony. Good to see you, mate. Happy Doctor Who Day. We've got welcome one and all from Garbage himself, Garbage, Lord Thoth, and Vanessa.
Garbage has done a video for Doctor Who Day, folks. If you want to check that out, he's had a fun little video.
Oh, very good.
I have to try and get hold of that. We've got some great clips of some fantastic stuff that the fandom has been so creative this year, picking up the slack where official Doctor Who has kind of let us down, I feel. But we'll come to those in a short while. Bit of a damp squib for Doctor Who Day 2025. Well, maybe not.
No.
But the night is young. Woodhouse 122, you stick with us. We'll do our best to undampen your squib. Oh dear. Funky watched the 2023 version of the Five Doctors earlier on, and of course, Dimensions in Time. It's funny. People have traditions that they would never miss, even watching something that other people hate. I like Dimensions in Time as well, Funky, but quite often that is met with derision. Luke, people pour scorn on that notion, and my affection for Dimensions in Time and Delta and the Bannermen.
I mean, Dimensions in Time is now canon, isn't it? Is it? I think
the clip.
Yeah, the reality wars made it canon. I think me and Mr. Rob Peters, who might be listening, after the Vorp thing yesterday, we come back and we were watching the Five-ish Doctors 3 o'clock this morning. We watched Rose. Yeah, we watched Rose, and then we watched Five-ish Doctors. Because why not?
I was about to say there's never a bad time to watch the Five-ish Doctors, but I think 3 o'clock in the morning.
Dedication, that is.
Pretty bloody close.
Yeah, it was good. It was good fun.
Excellent. Shelley is in the live chat. Hi, guys. And Tony's there spitting facts about that original TARDIS studio. Cost as much as a 3-bed semi-detached house to erect that design classic.
Wow.
But if they hadn't have done, where would we be now, Gary? Where would we be now? We'd be stuck with some invisible spacecraft of some kind. I don't think Doctor Who would have succeeded without that set, do you?
Yeah, if not for that, I guess the four of us would be sitting around talking about, I don't know what, like cat videos or something like that all day.
No one wants that.
What was actually, though, I mean, but what was the actual price of that? I mean, does anybody know like what the actual price was?
Tony definitely does, because we did a whole show on that entire set, because Tony is the authority. That's why we call him Big T. That's the man, the legend. There's nothing he doesn't know about it. So if you hit up the playlists and find that podcast, I can't remember what that one's called. I think it's called Design Classic or something like that. You can get the full lowdown from Tony. Oh, is he chipped in?
He did, with an exact down to the dollar.
No, but to do with the TARDIS, I think Moffat had it right that recently-ish they filmed him and Russell talking in the current TARDIS set. And Moffat basically said like how important the console was as a design, and that it stayed as the console, and that there's certain parts of the TARDIS which has now become part of the DNA. And in typical Russell, and then of course Russell had to make a stupid comment, but at least Moffat was talking sense.
More often than not. Farsight says, yeah, Doctor Who and the Avengers, the best British sci-fi and fantasy shows ever. I'd probably agree with that, to tell you the truth. I can't think of any that come. As much as I love Sapphire and Steel and Robin of Sherwood and Star Cops and 101 other shows, none of them really touch Doctor Who and the Avengers, in my opinion. Greetings and felicitations from Pete Venkman there in the live chat, the Ghostbuster himself. Lord Thoth has joined us too, and lots more besides. I wonder if Doctor Who Day ever came on Thanksgiving Day. It has several times, isn't it, Gary?
Probably so, because it just Thanksgiving Day isn't just like a set day. It's whatever the fourth Thursday of the month happens to be. So it could be.
We've started somewhat of a civil war in the live chat too on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and X between the coffee people and the tea people are going at it, Luke. So I blame you for this conflict. What have you got to say for yourself?
Charlotte started it.
I was going to say, I think
with your divisive comment about not liking tea.
Well, I hope you're happy in the end.
Sentai Ranger Donnie says, I last drank coffee on the morning after American Independence Day in 2015 in Vancouver. There you go. Wow, what a memory. Memory like a steel trap.
Wow.
There, Sentai Ranger Donnie. You keeping the dream alive. Keep on rocking. I've only ever had tea. I've only ever drank tea three times in my life, and I do remember where I was each time. Now, I've just taken the piss out of young Donnie there, but I'm not going to bore you with that. That's probably for another time. Martin King was in Manchester yesterday. There you go.
Should have went to Warp. It was a really good day. Really, really cool day. It went on a long time, but we played bingo. I won a book. Georgia and Theo were there, who do stuff for Big Finish and do the Homeworld Foundation. They were there, and I won Stones of Blood Target novelization. So we had a really good day, and we showed Hooligans on the sly as well, which is fun.
On the sly.
It was literally on the sly. Yeah, they had a bit of a dead time because they were just in between guests, and I had the laptop. It was next to me, so me and Rob were just like, we just put it on the sly, and everyone's like, "Oh, this looks good." And I was like, "Yeah."
And still, they keep inviting him.
I had nothing to do with it, folks. So
yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard when one of the lead actors is sat next to me.
Oh dear, you keep getting away with it. You can't really blame you if they keep letting you do it, can we?
Yeah, all you can do is try, isn't it? So,
absolutely. Speaking of triers, this guy, he gave it his all.
Hello and welcome. I will be off saving the universe, but while I am doing that, make sure you listen to, what was that, Chesterfield? Type 40. Yes.
It's your Type 40 live for Doctor Who Day 2025. Some of these things really do make me laugh. Yes, we're back. Yes, for more Doctor Who Day coverage. And trying to catch up on our weekends, compare and contrast, and share memories too. Some from the distant past, some not so much. This is the 6th Doctor Who Day edition of Type 40 Live, believe it or not, Charlotte. I think you've been there for all of them too.
I think so. I can't remember if I was there for the first one. It's the only one I'm a bit not sure about.
Yeah, there's so much of this in the playlist now. I have to go back and look at it all. One day I will, when I'm in my retirement home. But yeah, you don't need a memory that long to get up to speed on the next item. Just a couple of days ago, really, when we talked about Paul McGann. We talk about Paul McGann quite a lot. Why wouldn't we? He's a great guy, fantastic doctor, and permanently, it seems, some kind of unfinished business. And that's no matter how many audio dramas we get starring him from Big Finish. And so there's been growing accounts of his involvement in Doctor Who over the last 2 or 3 months. Some are pretty thin. Oh, my cousin thought they saw someone who looked a bit like Paul McGann in a car park or in Greg's or whatever, near to Bad Wolf. Yeah, tenuous stuff, but it might go somewhere, it might not. Other accounts are somewhat more solid, such as this from the other day, courtesy of Andrew Morris over on X, who said an acquaintance of mine worked on a Doctor Who project and confirmed that filming took place at Camber Sands that day. Paul McGann performed in his Guardians of the Edge costume. That's that one, I think. And the TARDIS was present. Ever professional, though, my acquaintance refused to spill the beans any further. You know, I think that telling Andrew what they have would probably be enough to get some sort of dismissal. I think that ship may have sailed. But a lot of people were very excited to see this, and we certainly had fun debating it for a little while. But of course, it sort of stirred the pot, I think. Paul McGann back to either lead the Christmas 2026 special or star in it, co-star in it with Billy Piper. Hardly surprising that these itches aren't going to get scratched anytime soon. But as if by magic, now I think this was yesterday, an image started to appear across social media. I was sent this ridiculous amount of times. My inbox was ping, 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 same picture. And an image turned up from literally out of nowhere, purporting to be from the recording of the Christmas 2026 special. And you've probably seen it as well. And here it is. It seems to originate from Reddit. No, it says 4chan. So this is from Reddit. This screenshot. And the account says, I've seen this floating around 4chan and didn't know if anyone knew anything about the OP. Any help would be greatly appreciated. This is very, very convenient, isn't it, Charlotte?
Well, yeah, my first thought, because like you, I got sent this quite a few times yesterday when I'd come out from the cinema. I was just like, oh, isn't this good timing? That we literally just had a week worth of rumours when this could have appeared any time, but now it's appeared, like you said, after those more substantial accounts have been floated. So, and my other thought was, surely they're not filming the special yet. It's way too early for any, like, with your actors on set in costume to be filming. You can have prep happening, and I hope they are doing the prep for it at this point. But yeah, I'm very doubtful of this for a number of reasons.
Gary, you sent me this as well, didn't you? So did your eyes pop out when you first saw it?
Yeah, I was one of the pings that you were getting, obviously. Yeah, when I saw this, I went, yeah, you kind of do a double take and you do what? And then you start, looking at every, what are those guys eating at the table over there? Maybe that's a clue and all this stuff. And you try to figure if it's real because, everything is, not a day goes by. I'm sure it's true of all of you that I don't get like multiple like AI things of something in my feed. And so I immediately think, well, is it real or not? And then like you just said, like Charlotte just said, they can't surely be filming this already. It's too, a year ahead of time. But and
it's curious, isn't it? That prior to the invention of AI, artificial intelligence being able to create artwork to such a standard, we never used to get any sort of leaked pictures from inside sets. It's strangely all happens about now. And of course you think, well, the image cuts off at very convenient places too, but I do have the fuller images. Has anybody seen the proper full image?
No.
This is the full image. So
AI. That's ridiculously AI.
This took some finding. But Luke, you work in AI. To me, this is so obviously not real. I'll come to why I think that in a moment. But you work with AI. What are your tells? You clearly don't think this is real either.
Well, first of all, why is everyone in COVID masks?
They've all got colds.
Have we suddenly gone back to 2021? Like this makes no sense. To be fair, I saw a breakdown of it earlier when I was just chilling. I thought someone went into it and said, "Oh, something's wrong with Paul McGann's finger. The table bends here a different way." It is a tough one. It does look, if to any unsuspecting fan look at it, you don't know. It does look very real. Like it does look. Like it's quite frightening now that people can't tell because is this AI or not.
I think similar images are coming off the set of Avengers Doomsday or claiming to be coming off the set of those big tentpole movies and being discounted quite quickly. And you're quite right. If you don't know the ins and outs, the general lay of the land in Doctor Who at the moment, you probably would at first glance think that this is kosher, to be fair.
And the TARDIS console looks lovely. Like the console room looks really nice. The walls don't seem to go all the way up, but
that's the clincher, Luke. That's how you can guarantee this is fake, because there is no way that the BBC, that Bad Wolf, that Russell T Davies would sign off on a set and on everything here that looks like a fan's wet dream come true. Not a chance.
Also, Billie Piper threw her birthday bash yesterday, and she has
I've got that
red
coming up as
hair.
well.
Yeah, she has like bright red hair. If they were shooting this last week, she's either dyed her hair really quick, and she looks a lot younger as well. The costume doesn't match Shooties, does it, to like at all?
Well, it's clearly the pinstripe of that thing he was wearing when he regenerated, but taking that and then making clearly a more feminine version
of it. Yeah,
it's
just so
it's
much
sort of a mixture, isn't it, of what she's wearing there.
There is no way.
It does look good.
There is no way you'd get Paul McGann back in a cravat playing this part.
Yeah.
Not now. Not now for a start. Also, Paul McGann doesn't read his scripts. Everybody knows that. So that's suspicious in and of itself. But then you've got just everything. It's so obviously a fake. And given the fact that everybody now has really quite high-end cameras in their pockets that take crystal clear images you can zoom in and out of. I mean, just look at the grain on this. It's clearly been doctored in every possible way that it could be to blur any edges that it has. This is fun, as particularly on Doctor Who Day, to come and to talk about something like this, Gary. I think it's fun and I think it's harmless, but a lot of people have believed it right away. That's a shame.
I like you said before, you use the phrase like fans wet dream, and it's like something that part of us like wants so desperately to be true, but then part of us going, no, this just can't, for all the reasons that you've been explaining, it just can't be. So it's like our hopes are at war with our logical brain here. And
it's like I was saying on our last show, this image, the fact how quickly this has been made from literally just a week's worth of rumor, like somebody's made this, once again it shows how much the need and the want for McGann in this special is. Yeah. And I think this is just more and more highlighting how the only way Russell's going to get eyes on that special next year is if he chucks every bit of nostalgia, everything from this past of the show, and tries to lean on that as heavily as possible.
We've got lots of comments on it in the live chat as well, Luke. But it has captured people's imagination, which is only fair. That's what you'd want Doctor Who to do, isn't it? People still care about it very evidently.
Yeah, massively. And it does look good. Like it does. There's nothing about this image that doesn't look good. The TARDIS console room looks really nice. Paul McGann in the outfit again looks cool. Like I would love for this to be real and to have that version of the Eighth Doctor. That would be fantastic. But unfortunately, it's not. Like it's not, and it's kind of scary how AI now is coming out and looking real. And you said like they're having the same thing come out with Avengers Doomsday. And it's terrifying that people can now look at image and be like, "Oh, I don't know if that's real." I mean, yeah, as the chat is saying, the COVID masks are a dead giveaway. Like they're a dead giveaway.
I mean, when I saw this, my son works in TV and film.
Yes,
and quite regularly, when he sent me some pictures back a few weeks ago from something that he was making in Belgium, and he was wearing a face mask then. But I think it was because of the environment that he was in. It wasn't a COVID thing. So there are reasons that people who work in TV and film may wear face masks. For example, using any kind of spray adhesives or around any kind of substance at all that could be harmful, a health and safety hazard. So they are present away from COVID, but it's just that has to be the disclaimer. Generally speaking, it's the exception rather than the rule, isn't it?
Yeah, and they got the camera right as well. It looks like a Arri Mini as well on the side, on the Steadicam to the far right. So they got that right. So it looks like correct. Like there's nothing about this image that looks wrong to me, but it is. Billie Piper's face looks slightly bit off as well, and she looks very, very young. Paul McGann,
that's what I was focusing.
Older.
Yeah, I was focusing,
Gary?
Luke, on the faces. Luke, myself, because it's like the faces, have that kind of AI, almost kind of like waxiness. And then I was just focusing, because this is the first time I've seen this expanded picture. But when I was just focusing on the small one, I thought, did they take like an actual photo of like behind the scenes from the TV movie, and they swap out Daphne Ashbrook maybe in that same position for Billie Piper?
Could be.
And I thought, okay, well
show.
that might make sense.
Funky in the live chat says here, I didn't know Billie Piper was that tall, or is Paul McGann shorter than we think? Paul McGann is shorter than you think. He's not that much taller than Sylvester. He's certainly shorter than I am. So yeah, he's not a big guy at all, Paul. Right.
Yeah, and the other thing you can see now, because that expanded, you wouldn't have a table full of stuff that close to your console.
No.
Like, that just physically would not work. Like, if you look at how the sets are, either the old console sets or the current one, there's all the room for the cameras and the crew is not on view.
Yeah.
And you don't see any of that. It's just a TARDIS. So that also, as soon as I now can look at it better, I'm like, no, you wouldn't have a table with bloody bottles and coffee and everything else.
Well, no, Charlotte.
Not that good. You would just catch it.
Charlotte, maybe what they do is they sit there and do the read through, and then they get up and walk over 2 feet and then shoot it.
Yeah, clearly.
Obviously, I think a lot of us would like this to be true. It's been something fun to look at and to talk about on a sparse Doctor Who day. The truth of the matter is we'll probably find out exactly who's going to be in it, or at least a principal cast. We'll find out sooner rather than later, I think. The wheels will begin to turn February, March time with a bit of luck. And yeah, we're just as keen to find out who'll be there as you are. And of course, we'd like it to be Paul McGann. In the meantime, of course, we've got Miss Billie Piper. There she is. Big toothy grin. This picture, the gift that keeps on giving. But yeah, Billie did celebrate. Now, she celebrated her 43rd birthday the other day. Luke, you're quite right. Even though her birthday was actually in the middle of September.
Oh.
These stars, I don't know. Work that out.
I mean, yeah, I saw the photo of David Tennant there as well, and he's looking his age now, isn't he? I know he's like mid-50s, but it's like, oh, you're looking it now, lad. You're looking it.
She's wearing that outfit, that's for sure.
Good on you,
Just
girl.
about.
Because I could say this. Good on you. You've got the legs for it.
Yeah, Billie looks like she's having a blast. She looks rather stunning here with a couple of friends hanging out in the bog. Oh, very nice. But it's clearly that was at the start of the night, I think, and maybe the other one was towards the end. But yeah, it was a joint birthday party. So it was a joint party with this guy, Jeremy Langmead. Who, I've never heard of him. To be honest, I couldn't even be bothered to look him up. But happy birthday, Jeremy, whoever you are. Billie Piper was there. I don't think they got to blow out half the candles each, Gary. Do you think that's how that worked?
Dan, I've got to confess, I'm just boggled as to why you only show us pictures like this on like special, annual events and not like every Thursday on Type 40. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
No, Gary. Yeah, but then we couldn't have pictures of Shooty looking like an idiot.
She got a point. She got a point.
She does look. She really does look amazing. Yeah. So
Shooty Gatwa couldn't make it apparently for one reason or another. But yeah, there were Doctor Who luminaries were there to wish Billie Piper a happy birthday for September. David Tennant with his wife Georgia, and there's Jenna Coleman too with Jamie Childs, her partner. Having both of them having nights off from the kids, and yeah, David with a hell of a lot of hair, and yeah, he's looking a bit craggier. About time. He's looking a bit craggier, but I do hope they all had a nice evening there. I think that by the looks of it, it could have been Georgia's turn to drive. I think she's on the soft stuff. David looks on the outside of a couple. So yeah, good luck to everybody, and happy birthday, of course, to Billie Piper. I think things may have gone a bit pear-shaped towards the end of the evening. When I saw this, I thought, oh, that's unfortunate. But in for a penny, in for a pound. I've got no account of what happened the following morning, if any arrests were made. But if you hear, we'll update the story, of course, as soon as we can, because this is Doctor Who Day, and this is very much how we roll. Okay.
Which doctor licked the stuff from the cleavage.
I think that has to be left to our imaginations.
Yes.
Gary,
Okay.
is the impression that I sadly and solemnly get. I mean, I know.
Funny though. I've just had a thought. The Doctor's always wanted to be a redhead. What if Billy keeps the red hair? Then they could finally have
if they
that
don't
hair
explain
colour.
it, and if they don't explain it in between the reality war and whatever comes next, he
Yes.
just turns up with a different hair color. People will go ape, won't they?
Yeah, canon's overrated. Just do whatever feels good.
Speaking of which, well, I wouldn't possibly give out advice like that, but I know somebody who would.
A very happy Doctor Who day.
And yes, natural. Yes. So if you are missing Shooter Gatwa, or you are intrigued by his era, now we're sort of managing to scramble our way up from the crater of that earlier in the year. The BBC Writers website has uploaded the scripts, not just for Joy to the World, last year's Christmas special, but the entirety of Series 2. All scripts are now up online, free to read. Now, I haven't had a chance to look into this. I wouldn't imagine it's the original version of the reality war. They wouldn't be that silly, would they? With all the Susan stuff in it? I doubt it. But if you are a budding scriptwriter or a big-time completist, you've got loads of time on your hands, a big Shooty fan, don't scoff, there could be a couple of people. Then all the scripts for Series 2 are online right now. So there you go, Gary, Christmas comes early.
Wait a minute, Dan. I thought we had to play that game in order to find the scripts. Remember the little online game? Then we would get to read the script. Okay.
You never know, do you? But yes, Shooty did his best to deliver the Doctor Who Day speech last year. I got the impression that not only was it filmed months before, but that he had no idea what he was saying or why. Bless him.
Well, maybe, you know what? Maybe we can get one of those scripts and we can get everybody on the panel to take apart and we can do our own kind of dramatic reading of one of the scripts and see how that turns out.
Why do you have to suggest these things? Who would want this?
Charlotte can take Verada's part.
I was going to say I'll have to be her because I'm a token female. So.
Of course, yes, Series 2 of Doctor Who. Series 2? I thought it was Season 2. Even the BBC can't get this right. It seems like such a long time ago now, doesn't it, Luke? But we are within 2 weeks, aren't we, of the beginning, finally, of the spin-off. Do you think anticipation is beginning to mount for that? You were at an event last night. Was everybody talking about the war between the land and the sea?
No. No, not. I think one comment I made was like, "Oh, the new design of the Sea Devils, I've kind of warmed to them now," and that's pretty much that's the only time it got brought up. So, yeah, no one seems to be talking about it. No one seems to care. I know they're doing the new trailers now as well. So you've got Jim and Redgrave, and you've had I can't remember the guy, but he's in Torture Children of Earth, and he's in the Floods two-parter. Who plays the general? Yeah, but he talks about Russell Tovey's character as well. So they're trying to, the publicity machine is trying to kickstart something, but it doesn't seem to be connected with people. People just don't care. People just don't care, unfortunately.
Do you think it's because they haven't attached it to the Doctor Who brand? I mean, I can see why they haven't, but it might be, maybe it's too early to say. Don't know.
Was anybody, Luke, talking about the new version of the Sea Devils, the cut down version?
No, actually, no. I think that only got brought up once or twice, and it was like, why are they bothering when there's already an omnibus version made by the director? So it was like, okay. Yeah, no one's really talking about it at all. I think the only time they did, they were just like, why? What's the point? Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame because from everything I've heard, like the series is a really good series. Like, so I hope it turns out well, and I hope people buy into it, and I hope people enjoy it. But I think people have been so burnt by series 1 and 2 that they've just kind of been like quite tentative with this and be like, I might watch it. It would probably get more views after the Sunday after it comes out, depending on reaction to it, and then people might be.
I think you're right.
But
is it
right
safe to
now
look?
it's that type of thing, isn't it? It's like we'll see after it goes out.
And I think we've said this before. Unit is not interesting now. Unit is, if anything, sort of a harder sell than I think it's ever been for a spin-off. If you would have done this 5-10 years ago as a unit-centric show, I think there would have been a lot more appetite. But the thing is, every version we've seen of them, and this isn't just the current era, to be fair, other eras also have this issue. They've not changed enough. Kate has not developed. You've not had like recurring side characters that have been around enough that people have got attached to. Even though I couldn't stand her, probably the only character I can think of is Osgood, that people were sort of warming to by the end.
Yeah.
But she's not in
She's
this.
gone. She's now gone. And maybe you'll warm to them a little after you see this, because they have inherited the mantle.
Happy Doctor Who Day.
Happy birthday, Doctor Who.
Happy Doctor Who Day.
Happy Doctor Who Day.
Happy Doctor Who Day.
Happy Doctor Who Day.
Happy Doctor Who Day. Yay.
That's nice.
So they're doing their best, aren't they, to represent the brand when it hasn't really got a lead at the moment. I thought that was kind of cool, rather sweet. Yeah. All the social medias have been updated very gradually, but there's no mention of Whoniverse anywhere near this. I'm amazed that they got them to record that in case somebody managed to connect that it was anything to do with Doctor Who.
Yeah, it's such a weird one. It feels so far removed, but it's like, so Russell Tovey's character is supposed to be like an admin officer for Unit. So why hasn't he popped up then? Because we're with Unit all the time in the past 2 seasons. Why has there been no mention of him? And now is he suddenly thrust to the?
They kept him out of the way because not only is he a bloke, but he's also the character. Barclay is also a straight bloke, so they'll keep him like well below, out of sight.
I mean, Russell loves Russell Tovey, doesn't he? So I'm really surprised by that, to be honest. I thought he would have found a way to put him in. So
I do wonder, because Russell has said that it is unacceptable to cast a gay character and not have him played by a gay actor. Why is it therefore okay for gay actors to play straight characters, Russell? Let me know in the comments.
You're asking for logic off Russell T Davies.
This is an exclusive new image for Empire magazine, which is more of the same, I know, but again, nice imagery. I am sort of looking forward to this, to giving it a try. I'm not prejudiced against this at all, but obviously the disclaimers have always been the same. It really does depend on the writing more than ever, as good as these two actors can be. Neither of them are leads, but both of them are decent character actors. So who knows? It might not be the worst thing in the world. But reactance, that wall of reactance within the fandom is definitely still there and still high. Every time we mention this in the live chat on YouTube and Rumble, Facebook and X, we get the same questions, particularly now they've thrown this into the ring about the name of the villains being the moniker Sea Devil being considered to be racist by Russell T Davies. You know, it's all silliness. It all gets in the way of the drama of the actual show and of it really making us feel like we want to turn up at all. Bring us more reasons to be there and reasons to be proud to have this series attached to this brand. That's what I say. Or is that too much to ask for? I don't know. Let me know what you think. This is Type 40. This is Type 40's Doctor Who Day special extravaganza hangout. We'll be comparing more with you in the live chat in a moment or two. You may want to get more of us. You may. On the Type 40 podcast. Get that in your ears across all major podcatchers as usual, and our home feed at type40.podbean.com. The last episode was a review of Planet of Evil. I had a terrible time with that. Spoilers. But the others, they kind of enjoyed it. You can see whose side you're on when you download or stream a review of Planet of Evil there at any major podcatcher you could care to name. You can dive back through our playlists for other Doctor Who Day shows if you like. In the meantime, there's our deep dives and regular news shows too. Type 40 Live, 260 odd editions now. get stuck in. Why not? What's the worst thing that could happen? Okay, we have more to cover, so you may think it's been quite quiet. Fortunately for you, I've been picking up some real gems there. There's gold out there if you know exactly where to look. So we've got some clips, some pics, and some more stories and memories to come in a moment.
Ah, perfect. Just the person I need to see. Firstly, loving the outfit, by the way. Really suits your hair. Secondly, the universe is falling apart. I don't have much time to yet. I need to shoot off. I need to do something. But by all means, this is imperative. Watch Type 40. Type 40 podcast is where you need to be. Seguida!
Yeah, I think these events are very much what we make of them. We don't own Doctor Who, the IP, but I think we do own the heart of it here in the fandom. And you can put up the bunting, get the snacks of choice or some reading matter to hand. And, the day's your own. You can flick a few switches and slam in some physical media or stream if you so prefer. You can do all of that. However you want to mark Doctor Who Day, it's really down to the individual. I think that's part of the joy of it, Gary. It's as personal as our connections to the show.
Yeah, that's why we can go, we just go up to our DVDs or Blu-rays and kind of like find the story that gives us all the feels and sit down and luxuriate in it. I wish I had some of those some of the food in that picture. Those one thing that look like little Twinkies or whatever. Those look great. I don't know what those were, but those look great.
Those could be miniature fish fingers, Charlotte, would be my
guess.
Are they?
Oh, okay.
Is that custard in the tube?
I was going to say, if there's ball next to it, that makes me think custard. And of course, Matt, in his first episode, famously had fish fingers and custard.
I want those cupcakes too.
Has anyone on the panel ever tried fish fingers and custard?
No. Have you?
Yeah.
What's it like?
It's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. One of the boys who was again also a big Doctor Who fan tried it and he was like, "Oh, this is really nice." Like, oh, it's very different. So I was like, "Oh, go on, then, I'll give it a try." And I think it put me off fish fingers for life. I don't think I've had a fish finger since. So, anyone in the chat, let us know. Let us know if you have.
You know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and promise right now that whenever we cover and review the first episode of War Between Land and the Sea, I'm going to make some, fish things like that, and I'll get some custard. And for the first time in my life, I will try fish fingers and custard live on camera.
That's going to be worth the wait.
That's worth the price of admission itself. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'll fall off screen. Yeah.
It won't cost you a penny. It won't even cost any of your data. Unlike this. So if you remember, we talked about the meager amount that the official brand was doing for Doctor Who Day itself for 2025. Most of it revolved around this sort of interactive Doctor Who version of Pokemon Go, centered around Unit HQ. All sounded rather contrived to me, but it does seem that somebody must have been involved because it's all reached to a head in the last couple of days, and the final location was revealed to the plucky few who made their way through those 5 interactive quizzes and competitions and tests of nerve there over at the BBC website at Unit HQ. Congratulations, recruit. You have discovered the final landing location. The ground team will rendezvous at Stonehenge on Sunday, November the 23rd, to meet the TARDIS at its arrival point. If you would like to join us at Stonehenge, use this discount code, Doctor Who Day, at checkout for a special offer on tickets. You don't even get in for free. You get... I'm starting to spot this. Could be somewhat of this could be a scheme of sorts. It's a 2-for-1 ticket offer, and yes, it was all there. So if you didn't make it down to Stonehenge, then you've already missed it. But I did think this was kind of cool, sort of. By the time you get through the end of all those trials, Charlotte, and find out you've got to find the ticket money and the petrol money to get to Stonehenge, it could be a bit of a swizz, but it is a sort of Doctor Who location, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's Matt again, which I find odd that they picked a Matt location when it's like all unit, and they talked about the series 2 scripts being a part of this, so let's have an 11th Doctor. Because, to be honest, I do adore that scene though. When he stood up there and he's talking to all the ships in the sky. Because the thing is with Matt, he could turn on a dime. And that speech, you saw the showman at the beginning, you saw his sort of silliness, and then the music's blaring behind him, and then the music stops. Marie understood at that moment you didn't need blaring music.
Right.
And the way he says that those last couple of lines, it's like, oh, that's ice. That is snarl. That is get off my planet. Perfect Matt acting.
They really should have found a way to get Matt Smith out there at Stonehenge and do that speech again.
Yes, yeah,
great.
Yeah, that would have been incredible.
Or Big Finish should have got down. What's his name? It's the Miles down there to do his Matt Smith. That could have been quite good. A baptism to recreate that moment. So yes, Stonehenge, a popular heritage site and tourist destination in Salisbury. Yeah, I can't say that I'd like to have been there on a freezing cold Sunday morning. Oh God! But it could have looked somewhat majestic, maybe in the mist and the frost. I've driven past Stonehenge, so if you look behind where that white car is, I must have been somewhere about there. So I've driven past Stonehenge. I've never actually been myself, but it's smaller than you think. But it is very pretty, and yeah, obviously it is a seminal moment in certainly the history of New Who. I agree with you, Charlotte. I think it was a magical moment. And if this weren't an English heritage site, I suspect that Doctor Who fans would have festooned it with the kind of iconography and tributes that you get down in Cardiff Bay, Luke, at Yanto Shrine by now.
Yeah, right. Yanto Shrine is just that one thing that never stops. Like every time you go there, it's like there's always someone outside taking a photo. I remember I saw a video not so long ago. Someone was there taking photos of it, doing a little video, and just in the background you could just see John Barrowman looking down at them, and I was like, "That's the most bizarre thing ever." But yeah, the weather in the UK right now is horrendous. So to go traipsing out to Stonehenge is a bit of an ask for anyone, to be fair.
What are they actually doing out there?
That's what my question was now.
I think they've just got the TARDIS prop there, haven't they? That's literally it. I think they've got the TARDIS prop, so a couple of unit soldiers, and you can have your photo taken with it, maybe.
That seems to be.
If that's all it was. Sorry.
that does seem to be. You get down there and you find the TARDIS, have your picture taken, and that really does seem to be that. Okay. I mean, there's never, obviously, if you've never been to Stonehenge or if you've been before, it is a very beautiful place, and that's all that history attached to it. Yeah. And this new image here from James Pardo, who's a regular Doctor Who photographer, this conjures it up, particularly with that sort of the rolling sky above. I think this is beautiful. Yeah. But you're quite right, Charlotte. I think you've been through an ordeal. You've had to shell out as well. They could at least have put on a spread.
Or just like have some people dressed up as Romans. Like if you couldn't have like actors from the show, almost like this whole idea is playing off the Pokemon Go thing that you're going out in like the world and looking and physically getting involved versus just being at home. So they could have like dressed it a bit with Roman soldiers or had like just something to sort of mark it as different than just getting your picture taken. Yeah. Which is
if they couldn't get Matt Smith, they could get somebody else from Doctor Who history, get them to show up, do a personal appearance, and recite some speech or another. Like Nicola Coughlan, maybe she could have made it. She could have they could have got her standing up somewhere and get her to shine and glow and do whatever it was she was supposed to be doing. You never know. It's not captured anybody's imagination, has it? Garbage has watched the Pandorica Opens today at Stonehenge. So you've been to Stonehenge, is that right, Garbage? Have you been down there, or you've just watched the episode in its honor? Yeah, let us know. Just to turn up at Stonehenge, they can't chuck you out, advises.
That's all we need on Doctor Who Day for all these Doctor Who fans to mob the place, and there's police action trying to get them to leave, and then it's on the 6 o'clock news.
I saw it was okay to go down here. I saw it on Type 40 Live. Thank you very much, Mosh. Yes, it is odd. It's odd, says Martin King. What else? I remember. Oh, we've got more here. I remember you were allowed right up close to the stones at Stonehenge, but you're not allowed to do that now.
Yeah.
No, you're quite right. When I was a child, you could walk all the way up there. There was no rope. Nothing was roped off or anything like that. Apparently, Sylvester McCoy did that exact speech at a convention recently. I think that would be fun. I'd like to hear that.
I think a few of the classic Doctors have been given that speech, because I've heard McCoy, and funnily enough, I've heard McGann do it, like a video of somebody videoed him doing the speech, and they all. What's interesting, and I find this interesting, when past Doctors get given other Doctors' work, they all do their slightly different twist on it and slightly different take. But you could hear with McGann and McCoy, they knew the Matt version, so certain bits were very much in the voice of Matt, and then they do something very individual. It was fun to watch if you can find them online.
That's what they do at conventions all the time. Like they give doctors like Capaldi's Zygon speech to do.
Yes, that's
just to see what other interpretations. Yeah,
I think I remember John Hurt doing the Stonehenge speech. I vaguely remember that doing the rounds.
I can't remember whose speech it was, but I definitely saw John Hurt doing a speech of some kind. Peter Capaldi reading anything would be brilliant, but I think he's cut back a little on the Doctor Who personal appearances lately. I don't think would he agree to read somebody else's words? That would be, I don't know. I think I'd be too afraid to ask him.
So I'm currently having a look at the scripts from season 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So not really, to be honest. The reality wall called The Bridge, which is an interesting one. 75 pages. Jodie's scene is not in this version.
Which ending does it have?
It has the Billy Piper ending, but it doesn't say. So it's regeneration NG, volcanoes out of him, collar and sleeves filled with streaming bolts of gold, wider, the TARDIS in space, the Doctor in the doorway, with engines shooting out into the galaxy, a wild display. Closer, as Doctor face finally vanishes into the gold, and a face appears, a person wreathed in miraculous gold light, who says, "Oh, hello," end of episode.
Oh, did he not mention about the shoulders? I was looking forward to that.
He says the Doctor vanishes, but then again, is that literally the Doctor vanishes and the person who we next see is not the Doctor, or is it just him?
But it just says a person wreathed in miraculous golden light, who says, "Oh, hello," and that's literally it. Yes, Funky is very right. Funky is very, very right. But it's called The Bridge and 75 pages. But yeah, it jumps straight from Belinda in the garden to him regenerating, so it misses out an entire section. So. Yeah, it's a strange.
Interesting.
Very, very strange.
The Jodie stuff's not in it.
Very strange.
You'd suspect that would be put into it now.
Well, people would be all over that, and yeah, why not at this point? But you can't give the people too much of what they want, can you? The BBC have delivered at least one thing today. They've announced at long last that Peter Capaldi's collection of soundtrack albums on CD is going to be complete very, very soon, for those who've been complaining about it for years now. So when was this screened? 2017. But yeah, the fans have been inquiring politely, and then it got more like demanding, and now it's here. It gets released on the 12th of December 2025. Season 10 soundtrack album at long last, everybody. Original television soundtrack music by Murray Gold there, with a cover that I loved, that line art there from 2017. I thought it was so evocative, so much fun, so Doctor Who. I loved that year following the show. It was absolutely brilliant. But you get the full track listing here. Music from episodes taking... so this goes right the way from the return of Dr. Mysterio through to Twice Upon a Time via every episode of Series 10. So it's all on there. And for the people who know this music inside out, you probably recognize some of these cues and titles. I don't. I'm not really a soundtracky person, but I do think it's wonderful this is out at last, because it might shut a few people up, Gary.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the line listing, like for Series 10, the last line is "I will not change," and then For Twice Upon a Time, the last one is Doctor, I Let You Go, which always makes my heart sink.
I could have another title. I could easily come up with 5 or 6 other titles for that particular queue now after all this time. But yeah, there it all is. It's a very generous package, I'd say. You even get a choice of artwork there. Now, I'd definitely go for this, the one featuring the actual logo from the time, but I'm very much like that. I do have some of these albums, but they're just not something that I always pick up. I buy them if I see them cheap. That's where I sit with it. But yeah, it's finally out. Do you collect these, Luke?
No, not really. I'm a big fan of them. I mostly listen to them on Spotify, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
But I think I might get this one. I do like the artwork is nice. The original Series 10 one is better with the proper logo. But I was like, fans have been clamoring for this for so long. Yes. I feel obliged that I was like, as a fan, I probably should buy this then just to justify it. Which I hope loads of people do, and I think they will. I think people have been nagging for this for so long. But then, how long before they ask now for the 60th and Series 1 and Season 1? Sorry, Season 1 and Season 2 soundtrack. So
forever.
It's all just a mess, isn't it? Oh, that was very good. That was very good.
What have they started? Sarah Graham will be over the moon to finally be able to add that CD to her collection, I suspect, Gary. But I do them on Spotify as well.
Yeah, I just see this as part of the ongoing reanalysis of the Capaldi era, which I knew would happen at some point, where people who kind of dismissed it for whatever reason go back and reassess it and see how great it actually was.
But the thing December is as well, the 12th. There is some absolutely gorgeous music in that series.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things I love about Peter's last moments, like the closing moments of him in the TARDIS, and some of that is the music, because it's such, for all, like I said, at times Burt Murray could get really bombastic and over the top, and like there was too much music at times. What I always remember about that scene is you could tell he understood at that moment when Peter was saying those last couple of lines, it had to be minimal, had to be quiet, but you could hear it. And it just adds, I think, like you said, we've all got more emotions with that moment for other reasons now. But at the time, I got teary. I can remember that. And some of that was the music. So I think it's long overdue, and it's so odd that it's taken them this long. But they've done it now, so we should, like you said, support this and celebrate it.
Yeah.
It's about time some sort of box set came out, or some new release, I suppose, grouping the eras together or the Doctors together. I don't know, that could be quite good. But that's December the 12th there for the soundtrack to Series 10 at last, for the collectors who want to fill that gap after all this time. Radio Times have also delivered. Now, this is even better because this is completely for free. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at this yet, Gary, because it's right up your street, certainly. Mine too. I used to be a major reader of the Radio Times it was almost like a lifestyle magazine rather than just a TV guide. But it's seriously been lacking in quality now for a number of years. They do have these side projects, though, still, which they used to offer as genuine, perfect bound bookazine items you could buy in a shop. Now they do them digitally instead. That's the bad news. But the good news is that when they do get released, when they do get published, they're free and they're beautiful. The latest one has just been released today. Doctor Who Insiders from Radio Times, the early years, classic interviews and photography directly from the Radio Times archive concerning the William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton eras. This is all put together, all designed by Stuart Manning too, who was the production designer, I think, the brand manager. No, that's not true either. Okay, so he was a photographer of the Radio Times, and he definitely worked on the Doctor Who brand as well for a number of years. So he's the ideal curator for a title such as this. They've put them out before, haven't they? I think there was a 60th anniversary one, and this one looks absolutely stunning. Stuart's been nice enough to share some imagery here, but it's all for free to download. I mean, check this out. It's beautiful.
And it's lovely that it's Bill and that it's the early years being the focus.
I love that. I love that War Machines art on the
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that's great.
that appeared in the Radio Times way back in the day. I did know the name of the artist, but there's lots of line illustrations like that. But the chapter titles some of them are quite playful, like The Doctor's Wife and Here Be Monsters. Others are more traditional, like The Cosmic Hobo. Nice stuff. Patrick Troughton there. I mean, I've never even seen this photograph before. Can you imagine?
Wow. I didn't even know. I had no idea this was coming out. And this morning, when I logged onto the computer, I had a PM from Sarah who said, "Didn't know if you were aware of this," and she sent me the link for it. And it's like, thanks.
She sent it to me as well. So when I've got more time, I'm going to have a proper look through this.
Well, she didn't send it to me, so we have words with her. We'll have to have words, Dan.
But yeah, this just looks gorgeous, and the fact that the fandom and external publishers who haven't really got a license as such, but have a connection with Doctor Who, Luke, they can bring this stuff out of their own archives for us to see, because there's going to be a limit on the appeal, on the marketability of imagery like this. So why not put it out there for people to enjoy? If the Radio Times did things like this a bit more often, and to be honest, we're a little more careful about their magazine itself, the rest of their identity and their website, I'd endorse them a lot more than I do. This is a really quality item.
Yeah, and they used to have such an affinity for Doctor Who, didn't they? When it used to be a really big thing when you were like, the Victory Daleks had the front cover, David Tennant had the front cover. It's like that used to be a big thing. It's like we got the Radio Times front cover. Now it seems to be, people don't care anymore. And obviously they've had this close connection with them for so many years that they'd have access to all this materials, and it looks fantastic. Yeah. I didn't know about this until someone in the chat commented earlier saying like, "Oh, have you seen this that the Radio Times did today?" I was like, "Oh no." I was like, "I wish I knew about it because I would have got this. This looks brilliant."
Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. The thing with the Radio Times is that they were bought by Immediate Media around 2012, and they immediately, you could say that they were thinking in business terms, I suppose, how they would exploit that connection with Doctor Who in particular. But I remember being so disappointed in 2013 when the tie-in covers for Day of the Doctor were so badly put together, so low effort, no new imagery, and it's been downhill pretty much ever since. There's been a couple of sort of standout covers, but I got out of the habit of buying this even before I gave up my TV license, Charlotte. But the good news is that things like this are starting to happen. It could almost make me believe again. So you can go and get this on your iPad or your laptop or whatever, and feast on some of those photos. I don't even have to tell you a price. It's completely free. You have to have an account. You have to log in at Radio Times, but that's the same as every other website too. So there's no harm, no foul there, I feel.
Yeah, and the nice thing is about having some Doctor Who days which fall in the way they have this year, where the actual show isn't on the air. It's sort of, there's not a lot of news surrounding it. So because it frees up the space a little bit, you can have these more bespoke sort of things come about, whether that's fan-generated bespoke stuff or Radio Times. And I think going forward, there's going to be more opportunities, which is what I am looking forward to. Some of them said we're sort of in a wilderness years a little bit at the moment, and it always sort of inspires creativity. So it'd be good to see what people do with that, I think.
The creativity out there in the fandom over the last day in particular has gone through the roof. People timing their projects to launch on Doctor Who Day, which we've done it here too in the past. It makes perfect sense. You get a lot of interest. You get in the swim, in the feed, Luke. So more people are going to see the fruits of your labours, I suppose. Have you caught much in the last 24 hours or so? Because I think a lot of it started coming out yesterday.
Yeah, I saw a bit of it. I saw the Timeless Doctors trailer come out, which I know I think it's Babel Colour has been working on, which was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, so I know we had a lot of the Big Finish guys working on that as well, and various other ones. And yeah, I caught that. I haven't really caught much, to be honest. It seems, the fans are driving Doctor Who Day more than the actual BBC, which seems a real shame. And it's like, I know everyone's expecting something from Film is Fabulous today, and kind of really all we've had is Series 10 announcement for the Blu-ray, not the Blu-ray, sorry, for the soundtrack, and we've had Doctor Who live 24/7 on YouTube. But yeah, it just feels a bit of a damp squid, and it's like, oh, that's a shame. But then you see the fan creators coming out with stuff, and you're like, oh right, we can buy into this. It's like, yeah, the fans are doing more than the actual show, which is a real shame.
I do want to say really quickly though that on that Radio Times thing, which I like, Charles, I'm really looking forward to kind of diving into. Clearly, somebody somewhere at BBC Radio Times realizes that there's a market for something like that, because there's still a huge audience interest in classic Doctor Who and that era, because they wouldn't go to the trouble of putting out such a wonderful quality production. It's like, then where is the disconnect between your recognition that there's an audience for something like that, and then what you're doing everywhere else? It just makes no sense to me.
None of it makes sense, because they don't understand it, really. They don't understand it when it works, and they have got no idea what's happening when it fails. The fans have a better grasp of this stuff, but for the most part, they don't listen to us, or they listen to the wrong crowd. You mentioned it a moment ago, Luke. The Babel Colours fabled now feature-length Doctor Who film. Stuart's been working on it now. I first spoke to him about it 3 years ago. And now he did intend on having something out during the anniversary 2 years ago. It didn't materialize, but I understand he's close now to a release. He's confident it's coming next year. So if you haven't seen the trailer for that, the latest trailer, I should say, the polished trailer, it was released today. Look at this.
It's working.
A situation has arisen of utmost urgency for yourself and for Gallifrey. Your previous incarnations have been lifted from the space-time continuum.
Probably sitting there all of a dither, waiting for us to arrive. This is it. One of those moments. The darkest day. The blackest hour. Let's see what we're made of.
These are the last days.
Well, even Rassilon was young.
This is my childhood. Why have you brought us here?
Why here? Why now?
It's like seeing it all for the first time, seeing me, the Doctor.
I kept going to pause that when I spotted various things, but every time, in the time it took for me to press pause and to comment about it, there was something else. This looks extraordinary. Now, I think that regardless of what we may think of Babel Colours' choices for that which he views as canon and worth the legacy, and or not, technically, as regards a skill set, artistry, and a feel, having that feel of Doctor Who, I just got chills watching that. I thought it was spectacular. I don't even know how he's done some of it, Luke, but I know that it just feels right. It feels like Doctor Who.
Yeah, you can tell how much blood, sweat, and tears, and how much love he has for the show has just come out in this. It just looks fantastic.
That's
fantastic. Like this is a real love letter to every iteration and all forms of Doctor Who. And it's like, wow. I know he has used AI in certain bits of it, but I'm okay with that. I think it's fine. I think this is an example of AI used as it should be, and he's not taking a job away from anyone else. He's doing it himself. So there's nothing wrong with it, in my opinion. And I think, if he can produce something like this, why can't the show? Like, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. And he has been working on it for years as well. And I remember when he first brought it out a couple of years back, he brought it out in little episodes, didn't he? Now he's redoing it all. And this is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Just the craftsmanship behind it is second to none. So massive, 100%.
I couldn't imagine, Gary, how somebody could hang a story together using elements from screened Doctor Who, and I would imagine other places too, and specially filmed elements and model work and special effects work. How could you weave a story around that? I suppose we won't know until it eventually does get released. Right. You do get a feel. You get a feel of mythology from it.
I guess it's going to be like 2 hours longer than that. So
I think it's it's feature length.
Yeah, I mean, I echo what you and Luke said about the technical craftsmanship is staggering. I appreciated, Dan, your qualification of no matter what you think about the canon, because a lot of what they showed was kind of triggering to me. But
I agree.
Like you said, you can't fault the technical, and they've been working on this for years, and clearly, I mean, you can't doubt the dedication of these people doing
if
this.
Babe or Colour feels that he has a story worth telling convincingly, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt in a way that I wouldn't Chris Chibnall, for example. I'm willing to extend that generosity to such a high caliber creative who, as Luke said, obviously loves the show so much, knows so much about it. It gets, some of that just got me,
The way that they folded in some of the images that we recognize, like the Time Lords from the War Games in that long shot where they're in the far back, standing in the, the kind of dark shot, I thought was staggering. A lot of the images that the classic series images that we're familiar with were just breathtaking in this.
Boomer Doug said it's brilliant, but it makes me even sadder that this is what the BBC should be giving us, Charlotte.
Well, I was going to say, it also, I think it shows a real promise of something the modern show has sort of tiptoed around, which is Gallifrey. The fact that we've had it back technically for a number of modern Doctors, we've had that opportunity to visit it or to use it in a storyline, and they've always shied away. And I've always got frustrated with that, because I think there's so much you could tell of a Gallifrey after the Time War. A Gallifrey that was recovering, or how would the Time Lords how would they weather that fall from grace? That's what I've always thought. I remember when Eccleston's series started to talk about what the Time Lords were, and I didn't have classic sort of knowledge at that point, so all I had was bits of dialogue, little tiny snippets they gave me, and they felt like they were these giants of power in that sense, or these incredible beings that were almost like angels and that fell. And I just, and I wanted that to get explored. So this looks like it could possibly do that. So that's what I'm looking forward to here.
Anniversary specials mean the world to Doctor Who fans. Some of us, we've spoken at length about the 60th anniversary, but looking back across the decades past, these are the times of our lives in many respects. And the idea that someone, if we can't look to the BBC to give us something that feels epic and feels memorable, then we can look to members of our own community. It seems, Gary, and the obviously the don't want to use the word downside. The unfortunate aspect to that is that different fans view the series in different ways, accept certain portions of the show that others find. I mean, it didn't used to be as contentious as it is now because it wasn't so divisive, purposefully divisive. But I have to applaud creativity like that. That's where I'm trying to remain.
Of course, and I mean, in many ways, as viewers, I mean, so much about like the series is like so personal because that's I think why we hold the series so close is because I mean we remember what got us into the fandom, the stories that we love, how our own personal fandoms developed and grew and were nurtured. And so I think for each of us there's so much that's like so deeply personal about the series, which is why I think the reaction to whatever comes out from fandom, whether it's art or productions like this or whatever, hit us on, we react from that personal space, which is why I think that some of the reactions to all of these types of materials is so radically different because it really hits us in a way that, like, if we just turn on a movie and don't like it, we turn it off and go on our merry way. But we have a very kind of visceral, personal reaction, and we all approach things like this in different ways, with like open arms, saying I'm willing to judge it on its own merits and anything, and productions like you said, like this Stephen Braddock says, the Babel Collar, the Doctor Who and the Scorpion. I can't think of any other show that I watch now and like that has the same personal reaction to, like Doctor Who. I mean, I enjoy it, but this is like personal to me, I'm sure for each of us.
The only times Doctor Who itself has ever done something like that, Charlotte, things like these elements to Power of the Doctor, which are all well and good, and I think that they were done, if not with love, I think they were trying to please people. I don't think it was done with anywhere near the amount of affection and knowledge, but I think they thought they were giving people what they wanted. I would imagine all the actors were probably quite happy, because not only because they got paid, but for various. But it just lacked something. And I'm not talking about a convincing. It just lacks something. I can't put my finger on that. The trailer that we've just seen seems to have in spades.
I think the problem is Power of the Doctor. I agree with you. They were the highlights for me. That whole Guardians of the Edge, Tegan and Ace interacting, even if it was just a couple of minutes.
But Charlotte, every time they touch, you mentioned it earlier on. Every time they try and touch the mythology, they always fumble the ball. Every time, they never.
Well, I think that's because, like I was going to say, with Power of the Doctor, those bits had to share screen time with stuff that had no connection. It felt like you almost had flipped the channel and you were watching another show.
Yeah.
It didn't, story-wise, it didn't all come together and link and feel natural. Whereas the fan projects, because you can tell their only docket or their only sort of mission statement is, I'm just going to celebrate the show, then everything can be tied together. Everything can be written with purpose. That's sort of the phrase I would use. Whereas when the show before has tried stuff like Power, and the tiny bits we got in the Star Beast like trilogy, they feel like add-ons. They don't feel like they're part of the actual story. And I think that's where they sort of let themselves down of late a little bit. Whereas for me, Day of the Doctor, that's one of the things I adore about Day of the Doctor, that the through line of those three Doctors of 10, 11 and the War, they all complemented each other. They all told the story of how the Doctor has changed, how the Doctor has dealt with grief, how the Time War had made him harder and less forgiving. And you could see that playing off of one Doctor saying, that whole scene when Tennant and Matt are trapped in the dungeon.
Yeah.
And Tennant basically says, how can you forget? And he's furious. And Matt's like, how else am I going to carry on? And it's such an honest conversation, and I adore that. That's why I think, for me, Day of the Doctor's the better example of it.
Stephen Moffat has the best grasp of the central character probably a better grasp than most writers. I think there's a set of writers who are still with us now who do understand the character on a whole other level than others, and Stephen Moffat is definitely one of them. And it's why the Day of the Doctor does sit next to the 5 Doctors and the 3 Doctors, and feels like it belongs in that legacy. The 5 Doctors I talked about earlier on. I think about the 5 Doctors certainly once a week, regardless of whatever time of year it is. This was as important as Star Wars or The Empire Strikes Back to me when I was a kid. But there's always been a touch of unfinished business about this too. Last year on Type 40 Extra, I had Doctor Who in the Mid-Journey on as my guest, an exclusive guest to his first ever interview, and I don't think he's given one since either. We've been meaning to get together again soon, haven't we, MJ? So that might be happening in the near future. But he's also published something special for Doctor Who Day, tied into the 5 Doctors and based on a particular image that he generated last year, which I was raving about. So he has now created an entire artificial intelligence missing scene of the 5 Doctors. The 5 Doctors cut away there, where we see Susan whisked away by the obelisk, which we didn't see in the transmitted version or any of the versions that the BBC have put out anywhere since, Gary, as we were talking about just the other day.
I want to see this so much right now. I didn't even 2 minutes ago I wasn't even aware this existed. Now this is all I want, is to see this. This is just pure unadulterated, fan love that would come up with something like this. So props to you, Mid-Journey. I just want to say also really quickly, Charlotte, that's also my favorite scene in Day of the Doctor. I wish that scene was 10 minutes long, because I could have just sat there and have them go on and on and on and on in that scene. One really quick thing about the Time Lords, it seems like in New Who, with rare exceptions since 2005, it seems like what the creators have felt, the Time Lords waver between, okay, they're dead. No, they're not. Well, they're dead again. No, they're alive again. No, they're dead again. It's like you sit there and go, there's got to be something more you can do with them as a race other than either kill them off or bring them back. But at the same time, I treat it like the Time Lords like regeneration. It's like they really need to preserve the mystery of it. It's like the more we know, and it can be the mystery, the essential mystery of it can be kind of killed off through overuse. It's like the Time Lords shouldn't be something we know about in excruciating detail. These kind of Lords of Time. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I just agree completely. I just think something like the less we know, the better. Just like regeneration.
Yeah, I agree. You shouldn't know all the ins and outs, but I just think the Time Lords are such a unique race. And I think you could explore, like I said, just how they've changed. And you don't have to know every little bit about them for that. You could even do it through other characters. And I think they've tried that sometimes when people react to the Doctor who know of his people. So they've got that context. I just think in the 5 Doctors, you're referring to the 5 Doctors, that line when he talks about running away and how he had to run away. I just think just a little bit more on with that. I don't need to know. I don't need 50 minutes of every little thing, and then he gets the TARDIS and leaves.
Yeah.
I just want a little bit, but I agree it shouldn't be everything.
Tying into the Day of the Doctor is also the starting point too for this fan production. It's called a Fanimation. It's billed as a Fanimation. It's the creation of a guy called Luke Oliver, who's got a YouTube channel and several Doctor Who related productions stretching back a few years, such as poetry and things like that. This is a fan-made, animated, standout adventure, runs to about 18 minutes, focusing on one particular incarnation of the Doctor, who we only saw for about 20-25 minutes in the Day of the Doctor. So we can show the full trailer for that. So it is Doctor Who The Children by Luke Oliver. Check it out.
This November, from that chap who brought you Exhausted Supplies, and that poem thing with all the doctors. Well, all the doctors up to that point. comes a brand new Fanimated story. Oh yeah, I like what you did there. Fanimated, yeah. Very good, I like that. Introducing Finn Worthington as Caden and Anya Townsend as Ethne, with Christopher G as the War Doctor. This is Doctor Who, The Children. Sorry, hold on. Am I not in this one? I've got to talk to my agent.
Very self-aware. I like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't that look sweet? It looks sweet,
Yes.
fun, again, pouring with love. And I don't know, it just has the right kind of feel, Luke. I could probably watch an hour of that, never mind 20 minutes.
Yeah, considering the BBC are now producing a animated series, this looks brilliant. This looks fantastic.
Yeah, go with that.
It's not John Carley, so this is not canon to me. So I will not watch it out of protest for my dear friend.
I should add that initially, Jonathan Carley was playing the War Doctor in this when the project first started, but he's been making it for so many years. It was before John got the role with Big Finish, and so as I understand it, he had to exit this project because he was doing Big Finish.
It looks brilliant. If the BBC animation is anything like this, we're on to a winner. I know it's aimed at kids, but this looks brilliant. This looks absolutely fantastic.
I love the tongue-in-cheek tone of the narration. Not only the words, but just the tone.
I've listened to Exhausted Supplies, if it's the same writer, from my understanding.
Looks like it. What is that?
It's a fan audio, and they've got two actors being very good sound-alikes for Eccleston and Capaldi. And it's this story of basically them both being in the same location, like a planet, but they sort of, in the same time, are running like they've got the story happening, but in different parts of the planet. So they don't meet till the end. Exhausted Supplies. It's a very good fan audio, and it's so if it's any writing wise, I can say if it's the same writer, this should be very good in that regard, because I have listened to, like I said, that audio, and I say if people want to listen to it, find it's very good.
Oh, that's Mr. Carley as well. Yeah, that's
yes, he is in
Carley
it.
doing, and there's also Pete Walsh. Yeah, Pete Walsh doing 9, who is fantastic. I love Pete to death. He's such a
I like Pete. I had a nice chat with Pete once.
Such a boy. He's such a boy.
Doctor Who, The Children. Let's see what people say. Yeah, I mean, you're quite right, Luke. The fact that the BBC are developing something, I would imagine that would be aimed. I think this is aimed at Doctor Who fans up to a point, but I think it's aimed at the family bracket of Doctor Who fans, which is obviously a portion of the interest which the BBC's animation will be geared towards as well. It depends on where they put it. It's on CBeebies rather than CBBC, so it could be younger still. But if it looked like this and felt kind of like that, I think that would be fine. The narrator sounded like an older David Tennant. I think that could have been Elliot Crossley, Luca.
I knew it would be Elliot. I love Elliot as well.
Like I said, this creator's got a good history of working with these fans who do very good impressions, very good sound, voice like the Doctor's.
Crimpling Doubloon says, imagine something, Charlotte, like that shown on Christmas Day afternoon, even for 20-25 minutes, like one of the Julia Donaldson things. That would fit in beautifully with the customary BBC Christmas scheduling. No problem at all, in my opinion. What do you think?
Oh, no, it would. And I can tell you, kids nowadays, they really love those Julia Donaldson stuff. Like, at my work during Christmas, when we need a bit of time to do something else, we'll put one of those on and the kids are transfixed. And so I think that there's a captive audience there. And that's what I'm really hoping with this with the animation going forward, that they really give it a good go. And this trailer is a good proof of that, of this can work because I remember when we talked about that CBeebies thing, some people were a bit doubtful, and I'm like, no, actually, it can be classed as something for kids, but you can still have good writing, you can still have stuff that hits just as well. It doesn't make it lesser.
No, I agree completely. We have so many talented fans making quality entertainment. We are so lucky, says Richard Brooks. And Bill Silver reminds us that Chris Thompson, who does an uncannily good Patrick Troughton, why haven't Big Finish ever approached him? Well, look, all we can say is that Chris Walker Thompson has been on Type 40 Live several times, and you're quite right. Patrick Troughton, he's superb doing that voice, but he's superb doing any one of a number of things. A multi-talented man, and hopefully we'll tempt him back on the show at some point in the future. Certainly, I do really rate him very, very highly, and we hope to entice him back. We'll tell him how much you believe in him, Bill. There we are. The new wilderness years will see the rise of a host of talented creators. I'm looking forward to seeing the results. I think that's what Richard Brooks is getting at. I'd have loved to have met him. A relative of mine attended one of his one-man shows and said he was amazing. Who are we talking about? Is that Chris Thompson, or is it who's that?
I love Chris. I love Chris. Bless him.
We're gonna have to get him back on. It's got to have been nearly a year.
Oh, he's such a laugh. He's so good. He's in Hooligans. He voices the Sontaran for me as well. Bless him. He's just, and every time we see him and we go out, he's brilliant. I absolutely adore him.
There are several other projects to keep an eye out for. We couldn't possibly pull them all in, but I couldn't not talk about this one because it's the work of someone whose artwork and projects we've featured multiple times here on Type 40 Live, and it involves the Daleks too. Of course, it's coming up to their birthday as well. Let's not forget they get very shirty when you leave them out, and it's this latest project from Ant Lamb is a 10-minute animation, the first of what he promises to be a series focusing on one Dalek in particular. It's called Obsolete. It's up on YouTube right now, and it stars Nicholas Briggs as the voice of the Daleks too, and features imagery. If you've been watching us for any length of time, you would have seen lots of Ant's work up here in our fan art gallery section. Incredible work. There are several people who do brilliant Daleks, and Ant is absolutely right up there at the top. I just had no idea how a short film he'd put together would turn out. So here's the trailer for Obsolete, and you can judge for yourselves. Check it out. Ooh,
wow.
Very 80s music there. Almost Michael Mann-esque, I thought, Gary. Another one that really gave me chills. This is Obsolete, episode 1, The Summons. Have you caught any of this yet?
I have a little notebook next to me where I'm rapidly filling up with notes about all these things that I'm going to be checking out.
I sent you the link a few hours ago. So
you did. I haven't had a chance to check it. You know, the one thing I love when they're getting the Daleks back to the way they were in the 60s, which is the cunning, the strategists before they became like the support for Davros. So anytime that they focus on the Daleks just of themselves and the reason why they're the most feared race in the universe, I think is great, because we never know actually what's going on in the mind of an actual Dalek. So like even when it turns and looks, it's like, what is the creature inside thinking? I always think that. And so it's just so totally eerie and so totally perfect. So I can't wait to watch this one either.
It's all very eerie. All 10 minutes worth of it has that kind of creeping sense of, if not dread, of being somewhere that we shouldn't be, and the focus being on one particular Dalek. I don't want to spoil the story for this, but visually it is beautiful. Not just the attention to detail, Luke, but the filmmaker's eye as well, the various angles, how inventive it is. Have you seen this one yet?
I'm also dropping everything by the looks of it. Yes, I did. I watched it this morning actually while making the worst cheese toastie I've ever made in my life. Yeah, it was horrendous, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. Yeah, no, I had this on in the background, and it gripped me more than my cheese toastie. So that is good. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything from it, but it is absolutely fantastic, as someone would say. No, it was brilliant. Yeah, I know we've had a few Dalek animations come up here and there, because we had one come around with the Paradigm Daleks years ago. But this one's beautiful. Like, yeah, again, you have so many good, well, not good, you have so many incredible fan creators making content, making episodic stuff, making just everything for Doctor Who. It's like the fan base is incredibly talented, and it just goes to show what people outside of the show can do. And it's like there's a untapped mine of talent just begging for a chance. And it's like, you know, look at Babel Color, look at this, look at the animations, look at, you know, the fan films going on. It's like, wow, the Doctor Who, the fan community is thriving. If we had like BBV and everything come around in the wilderness, then this wilderness years now is just gonna
far be it from me to want to stand up for the BBC in any way. Far be it for me to want to stand up for them in any way. It could be quite overwhelming to look out into the fan community. Okay, who could we potentially work with? And there's all of these people with an incredible skill set. Because obviously the Peter Capaldi title, Charlotte, that was a design, an animation, and an individual. They loved what he'd done. They brought him in. Well, that was Ian Levine that put that together. He got in touch with Stephen Moffat, because they are friends. Said, look at this. And so rather than Moffat speak to their own special effects department and say, make your version of this, they brought the guy in, got him to work within the effects department to reach the end result that we got on screen. I think that's the most honourable way to give back to the fandom. If you can't give somebody a job, you can get them involved in the project.
No, I agree. If there's one thing you do have to say the BBC is good at, compared to other rights holders, is they allow fan stuff to basically go pretty much unchallenged, unless it clearly treads on grounds they shouldn't be treading. But if it's not copyright issues, they just let fans do pretty much what they want. And I think that allows, like we've been saying this stream so far, fans have so many brilliant ideas. They have so many concepts. They have like this one burning thing they've always wanted to do and the show's never done it sort of energy. And you can see that in this Dalek thing. I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to spoil it, because I did watch it. You can tell it's such a crystal idea of what they want to do with this, and it's very focused, and the cinematography is gorgeous. That's the thing I noticed as well watching it. And the other thing that it made me realise is, BBC, you don't need 10 ton of money. You don't need somebody like a Disney or a big streamer when it comes to absolutely just pumping money into this show. You just need ideas. You just need people that have that burning want. And that's what all these projects are showing off brilliantly.
Yeah. All of this shows, Charlotte, absolutely what you just said, Charlotte. All this proves that money is no substitute for creativity.
No.
And I'm tremendously excited by all of this. I mean, people can choose to feel, like loose ends, like saying, well, the franchise is in dark times or whatever. But, the last Wilderness years was an explosion of creativity. As Luke said, for everything from BB Fee, it was the early days of Big Finish. I personally think that the Doctor Who magazine at the time, that to me was its golden age during the Wilderness years, under Gary Russell and then Gary Gillett's editorship. Just the explosion of ideas, that because they had the time to mine all of these great. So I'm tremendously excited about what this next time that's in front of us is going to bring, if things like this are any indication.
Well,
Obsolete is the first of several he promises, Charlotte. I don't know how many it's feasible that he could do to that kind of standard.
Well, if he keeps them on the shorter end, like I said, this one that they have released is about 10 minutes. And I think I would argue that's probably the better way to go with these. Keep them lean, but really have good sort of work to show off. And I was going to say, and then before today, in the last couple of weeks, we had the news of Miles being cast as the 11th Doctor. And I can say, as somebody that has been listening to him for years and loving his work and seeing his talent actually get celebrated and to be on Big Finish and be a Doctor, for me, it's that idea of the fans being welcomed for all the stuff the current show has done, and we have spoken about that plenty of time, the current regime, the showrunner. There are bits of this brand that I think we can't forget actually do appreciate what the show is.
Yeah.
There are bits of this brand, there are people, probably is the better term, who won't be in the flashy sort of be on all the red carpets and all the press, but they're just working in the background and they still love this show. And I think we need to remember that and not lose sight of that. It's easy to do, but I think that's, if anything Doctor Who Day should be about, it should be about that, really, I think.
Go and check out the Luke Oliver YouTube channel for the children and Ant Lamb with that first part of Obsolete. Go and leave him a comment. Enjoy. Tell him that Type 40 Live sent you as well, please. So many memories tied up with lots of the new, plenty to be excited about, to be proud of, and to, I suppose, to be unified in appreciating, I think, that which we all share, a connection to this one show, as divided as this fandom is, as, how can I put this, as dilapidated as the IP does seem in the hands of its present custodians. Doctor Who is about more than that. I've always said that. It's certainly more than a TV show. And all of this, and you, is further evidence, I think. Let us know what you think, as always. Which of those projects have caught your eye? Or those items are you going to buy? The Series 10 soundtrack, download that Radio Times e-bookazine thing that they've so generously put out for free. Let us know which you are going to take them up on, and yeah, get back to us by all means. Okay, let's have some more. How about a blast of, where is he? Him.
Welcome to Type 40. Is that good enough? I hope so. Or exterminate, exterminate, exterminate.
All started 62 years ago today. 62 years and about 3 hours as of time of recording. I haven't watched anything for Doctor Who Day yet. I've been too busy putting this together and hosting this and all the rest of it, and seeing family and doing other grown-up things. But I think I probably will watch An Unearthly Child later this evening. I think it would... I'm in the mood for it now, whereas I probably wasn't earlier on. I think a nice warm drink, my woolly hat, my slippers, and An Unearthly Child, and then I'll see where I go, where my tastes and where my memory takes me. Could I fit in the whole of the 5 Doctors before bed, Gary? Because I think I've talked about that quite a lot on this edition of the show.
Well, there's a lot to pick from, and starting with Unearthly Child is a fantastic starting point. You can't see that episode. You can't see that episode too many times.
And as this is our Doctor Who Day show, and we talk about creativity, I felt that we should look at some fan art on our way out the door as well, because we've been celebrating Doctor Who fan art as part of Type 40 Live the entire time we've been doing this. And Doctor Who Day does somewhat bring it out and them out in force. First of all, there's this fabulous picture from Bandalaga, which is very kind of Studio Ghibli, anime style. There of all the Doctors in the 15th Doctor's coat there, in the lining of his coat. I thought this was quite creative. Does capture something of Ncuti, and I like the colours. I like this kind of art. Despite the fact I'm not a big sort of reader of anime or manga, I suppose I like some of the films. I think it's the colours I like about this. Reminds me a bit of Battle of the Planets, Gary.
I would totally watch an anime series where like every week was about a different Doctor. Can I say how much I love the Paul McGann's 8th Doctor expression there at the bottom left? He just has this whole Zen kind of like, whatever, look. And I just love that. I love Capaldi's angry look. Why can't there be an anime series that looks like this?
Unsurprisingly, a lot of fan art does do a sort of assortment, a collection of the Doctors, Charlotte. So there's that from Bandalaga, and this one too from Jim Wilkins, which I thought it's simpler, but I do think this is sort of charming as well. It's almost like a chalk picture somehow.
Yeah, and it's nice to see like a proper lineup. I think we're all a bit of a sucker, aren't we, for all our Doctors lined up?
Yeah.
It's sort of just it's nice to see how much our show has lasted, or how much our show has lived. I'm going to be more positive and say how much this show has lived.
Jim has chosen to put the first 2 Doctors in black and white as well. a nice touch. There's this one too from Jack Newman, which I thought was really cute, and has those sort of the floating images there of the Curator and the Valyard and the War Doctor and someone else. I can't quite remember who that is, but there they all are in the mix, and various trinkets and things like the pocket watch. There's a lot of love again been put into this. Doctor Who, all of me, this is called. Every face, every me, every Doctor, from Jack Newman. I mean, nice, as corny as this stuff is, I can't help but like it.
This is like almost like a Christmas card cover.
Yeah,
it's great. I love I love 10 and 14 kind of giving each other the eye there.
I was going to say, what do you think the older version is saying to the younger version?
So there's plenty of traditional art out there for people who do it in various different mediums, whether it's paint or chalk or crayon or markers, or they colour on a tablet. Lots of that kind of artwork, but lots of digital artwork too, such as this one from Oliver Chenery. Now, he updates this with every change of Doctor. So as you can imagine, he's been doing quite a lot of these over the last few years. There's William Hartnell with our current sort of lead Billy Piper. Very nicely rendered, as always, from Oliver. He does a lot of work for Big Finish and book covers and things like that. One of the best digital artists in Doctor Who fandom, I feel. And despite the fact that we don't really know what Billy's doing in the show yet, I do think this kind of captures strangely where we are now, Luke. I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, massively, and it is very, very good. I'm a massive fan of his, and yeah, I think it is. It goes to show, like as we were saying, Doctor Who fans are some of the most creative fandom out there, and just look at what they're making as well. And yeah, it's all power to them. But yeah, the other one that was missing, Screamer Shalka Doctor was not there. The Morbius faces were not there, so it's not every Doctor ever, is it? Come on, sort it out.
Where was Doctor ever? Where was Trevor Martin from the Seven Keys to Doomsday? He wasn't there either.
Yeah, and Hugh Grant wasn't in that either from Curse of the Fatal Death.
Yeah, Rowan Atkinson.
Philip Roy's Doctor was also missing. That will definitely change this time next year. Phil has just clocked in with us after clocking off, playing Toymaker Elf at the Royal Mint. I hope you broke a leg. Is that, do people still say that? Yeah, I hope you had a good time. I hope it went well, Phil. Congratulations. I hope your Toymaker Elf went down a storm. There you go. Welcome home.
Very, very randomly. Do you know why they say, when you're going for audition or working in theatre, break a leg? Do you know why they say
Luke, that's the kind of thing. I see. I'm over 50 now. That's the kind of thing I used to know, and I've forgotten. This happens when you get past. Actually, it happens when you get past 35. So, how many years have you got left?
Well, I'm 31, so I'm getting there.
It's coming for you, my friend. It's coming for you.
So the reason they say, sorry, I digress so much, but the reason they say break a leg is because you'll be in a cast. And it's cast of actors.
Crikey.
There you go. There you go.
No, it turns out I didn't know.
Yeah, random fact of the day. There you go.
Another fabulous piece from Oliver Chinnery. And finally, this one from another artist whose work we feature quite regularly, which I think sort of captures things even better. It's a simple, fiery question mark in the doorway of the TARDIS. I think I'd have rather the last season ended like this, Gary, somehow.
Yeah, that's so good. Who is it? Danny? Danny
Kennedy. We featured her artwork
really
a lot.
Something, Danny. I mean, that's really, this would have been a perfect ending. That would have, an image like this would have heightened anticipation for whatever came next more than what they did.
Or like you said, fade to black and have that as your first official picture be put out the day afterwards.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the name. What was it? Which episode was it? Was it the name of the Doctor, where the Doctor is converted into energy or something?
Oh yes, it is. Yeah.
He goes into his time stream. Was that type, David?
That's it.
In Translaw, when he goes into, that's how he finds John Hurt.
Right. When he goes to find Clara.
That's the one. That's the one. And I just think, well, if that could, you twist it into some sort of vapor that would resemble a question mark. And it's cheesy, but it's good. It's good cheese. I'm down for that. Totally down for that. Fabulous work there from Danny Kennedy and all our artists we've featured on the gallery this time for Doctor Who Day. If you are a fan artist, of course, you should get in touch and send us your work. We'd love to see it up on our walls here for our enjoyment. And we'll get your links out there as well. Send us to your website, your Instagram account, or anywhere that you display your artwork. If there's any fan artists out there that have played a blinder over the last 24 hours, let us know, point us in their direction, or send us their artwork, whatever you like. Room for more, always. Okay, yes, if you want to get involved, as always, you can join the crew of deplorables there at Type 40. This is another picture I was going to show, and I totally forgot I got it there. So here we are. This is the Daleks and the Cybermen and the TARDIS by Aidan Whoniverse. There, so that's the one I didn't think we'd have time for. So
good one, Aidan.
What I liked about this is the fact that it's got a kind of watercolor vibe to it. To tell you the truth, that's why I felt it stood out. And it looked like a Christmas card design.
Yeah, and it looks. I like the fact that the Cyberman is doing what looks to me kind of like a breakdancing move with the arms.
Popping and locking. That's what they call it, isn't it? Popping and locking. So you got a bonus one there for free after all. Okay, back on track. Come and say hello as always. The usual places, Instagram and X at Type 40 Doctor Who, or you can steam over there to the Type 40 Facebook group and join in the Doctor Who Day celebrations there, plaster up some fan art, get involved in one of the conversations, maybe about that picture of Paul McGann and Billy Piper on the set of a dream TARDIS, maybe, or it could be a load of old bollocks. You let us know, join the conversation there on our Type 40 Facebook group, or you can leave us some feedback too through the wonder of SpeakPipe. As always, there's our playlists to dive into too. you aren't sick of the sound of certainly my voice by now, you can get more of our regular news shows, our deep dives into TV stories and indeed movies. Ask Us Anything specials, which do exactly what they say on the tin. It's all there for you to binge if you really feel so inclined. There to your heart's content in the playlists. Type 40 podcast on all major podcatchers as ever, and our home feed, type40.podbean.com, courtesy of the Fandom Podcast Network. We are proudly part of the Fandom Podcast Network. We can't recommend their entire arsenal of podcasts enough. Thank you again to Kyle, to Kev, to Norm, everyone for your support and encouragement. The FPN is really going places. Stay tuned for next year to hear more about all of that. More Type 40 coming up soon in a few days' time. But are we going to recover from Doctor Who Day, Gary? You know, I think we've played a blinder after all. Thank you.
You know what? I have to actually, thank you, Dan, because I honestly, and I'm not exaggerating, after all the things that you showed us, I actually really feel a renewed sense of enthusiasm about where Doctor Who's going, and it's largely due to all these incredible fan productions that I think are only getting started, and I'm tremendously excited about it.
I couldn't agree more. Here's to another 62 years of classic Who, says Funky. But you can pick and choose now. I mean, you can pick and choose. It's all no harm, no foul. Yeah, but I've enjoyed this. I've definitely enjoyed the show. Doctor Who Day itself may be a little lower key than we've been used to at some points. I think the things that we've noticed, Charlotte, such as that strange focus on Matt Smith's Doctor all of a sudden, could end up going somewhere, but it might just as easily be going absolutely nowhere. But again, that's all part of the fun as well. It's what we all do, where we go. Maybe you were at Stonehenge at 6 o'clock in the morning to get your photo taken with the TARDIS. I don't know, but I want to hear about it. So please let us know if you did that, or if you spent the day in. What did you watch? What did you read? What did you listen to? What did you make, Charlotte? I think that's everybody's making something, even if it's just making memories.
Yeah, I think the uniqueness of Who is that Nova's show has had a central character which we have lived with for 60 plus years. A character which we have seen highs and lows, and have loss and have joy and have all the emotions. And I think that's our tether. So we'll always go back to the Doctor. And that's what Doctor Who Day is about.
I like it. Yes, we have got more comments here about missing episodes, and film is fabulous. I did suggest that people manage their own expectations on that, didn't I? It's this is all an invention of the fandom. Thanks for a wonderful, lovely, warm celebration of Doctor Who Night from Stephen Braddock there in the live chat. Thank you for being here, to everybody who's joined in, and to Lord Thoth as well. Yeah. Is Clara the only companion to have ever encountered every Doctor from Hartnell through to Capaldi, says Bill Silver.
Yeah.
I think it's River song as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of a distinguished
on TV.
Very small.
She hasn't,
yeah.
though,
On TV.
Fight.
Type 40 remains. Type 40 will continue to be your companion for better or worse. No party lines, no beefs, no bullshit. And if you like this, please like the video. It helps more than you think. Dislike it if you like. That also helps. Subscribe to the channel. Check you're still subscribed, because YouTube can be very naughty like that in particular. Otherwise, you might miss out on the very best mix of news, views, nostalgia, discussions, and banter each and every time. We'll see you in the comments with more on Doctor Who Day, and we'll be back on Thursday again, as always, with the Big Who from 8 p.m. We always have the time, if you have the space, here at Type 40 Live. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming on. Luke's in his scarf there. There's more scarf than you.
So long. Like, yeah, as I said, my missus made it. She overshot it, so she made me a 24-foot scarf. But I'm also sat here and I got the radiator on next to me, so I'm actually really hot.
I was
really,
wondering
really hot.
how long it was going to last, the scarf.
So
Yeah,
Tom's scarf, when Tom's scarf was made, that they made that too big. So your missus has looked at a scarf that was accidentally too big and made an accidentally even bigger version of the accidentally too big scarf.
Yeah, she's going to start work on a season 18 scarf for me soon, hopefully. I know she can hear me through the wall, so yeah.
That's going to cost you a decent Christmas present, my friend. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah, I know. Bless her. But hey, so next time you see me, actually it won't be next time. Soon you'll see a nice burgundy season 18 one. So
if that's not worth waiting for and staying subscribed for, I don't know what is, Charlotte. And you've made it through to the end of the show as well. How blessed we are. And happy Doctor Who Day, Charlotte. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, it made me laugh that some people in the chat were like, Charlotte's not disappeared. I'm like, now and again, I can stay for the whole stream. It's fun when I can.
Thank you, Charlotte. And Gary, don't think I haven't noticed your incredible baseball cap there with the proper.
Well, of course.
The only Doctor Who logo that really counts, isn't it? This one.
The original, still the best, kind of the original. But yeah. No, this has been great fun. I'm actually totally energized now. So this has been just an amazing celebration. Thank you to all the people in the chat. You really made this day special. So thanks for having me.
Even more memories. One more time, I think, for another 12 months at least, until we say it again. Happy Doctor Who Day, everybody. Bye-bye.
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 Woo!